Good evening everybody, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like my videos, please smash that like button. Please do subscribe. It is Tuesday evening. I'm here in my flat. Alexa, what's the time please?
The time is 6:17 p.m.
So guys, I've been at home today, all day, apart from taking Max out for a walk. So my mum rang again today. She rings in the morning, she rings in the afternoon, and she usually rings in the evening. So this is her message this afternoon.
Welcome to your EE voicemail. You have 2 new messages and 10 saved messages. First new message. Received today at 8:53 a.m. Message deleted. Next new message. Received today at 2:26 p.m.
Good afternoon, Janetta. This is your mother, Jennifer, speaking to you from my landline phone to you, Janetta. I do hope you're having a good afternoon. Thinking of you, and I'll give you another ring this evening just to say good night. God bless. Okay, Janetta, bye for now. I've been in all day. You could have rung me if you wanted to. Okay, Janetta, bye for now. Take care.
To return the call, message deleted.
Right, so I could have called my mum if I wanted to. So showed you the post. So we had the bubble hair dye sachet, and then we had the box of 10 sachets of bubble hair dye. The sample was different to the box, but when I came back from walking Max, I thought, to heck with it, let's try it out. So I mixed the sachet with 2 of the sachets in the box. So what you do with bubble hair dye is the box comes with a little plastic bit that goes around your neck and your shoulders, and it comes with a pair of plastic gloves. I didn't use the bit around my shoulders, I just used the plastic gloves. I squirted 3 sachets of dye on the plastic gloves, and then I mixed it together. What's that? And then I rubbed it in my hair. I just massaged it into my hair for 5 minutes. I asked Alexa to put the alarm on for 30 minutes, but I only left it on for 20. Because I found that it started stinging a bit. On top of my head started to sting. So I don't know whether it just started to sting, my hair did. It's like someone's banging. Someone's banging on one of the balconies. So it started to sting. So I massaged the hair dye into my hair, left it on for 5 minutes. I massaged it for 5 minutes, and then I had enough after 20 minutes and I washed it all off. It's coffee colour, coffee. The colour of a cup of coffee. Not ginger. I just wanted my hair to look like natural, so I'm not ginger now. It's not bright red and it's not ginger, and I don't wear thick black glasses. I used to, but I need to get my eyes tested and get a new pair of glasses. So I took Max out this afternoon, and it was more quieter than it was this morning. It was quieter. There was hardly anybody on the field. I'd shown the box of hair dye on the camera of a woman with long black hair. So coming off the field, there was a woman with long black, flowing black hair carrying a handbag, walking onto the field as I was coming off. And the builders were still on the field with that white van, and I didn't go anywhere near them. I managed to do a couple of TikTok videos in peace, and then I came home. And I've been home ever since. I don't want to keep ringing my mum. It'd be nice to have someone else to talk to, but there you go. She's been in all day, so have I, mostly, apart from taking Max out for a walk 3 times a day, getting some fresh air, enjoying the different, I like the clouds, I like watching the scenery, I like seeing what's about, and if I've got to be on my own, I've got to be on my own. I don't really want to, how many times have I got to say it, you know, your mum's got to let you go, got to let you breathe, got to let you develop, you can't, what can I say? No one can put up with it. My son couldn't put up with it. My ex-husband got fed up with it. And that's it. Couldn't cope with it. It's just incessant. When I go anywhere with somebody, when I visit somewhere with somebody, the phone goes off constantly. I've been in a coffee shop, my mum's rung, and then someone's come in with a barrage of dogs, 2 or 3 dogs, and they've started making a nuisance in a coffee shop. I don't know what the hell is going on. I just have to live my life around it and put up with it. But it's been the same when I was a teenager. I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend. I had to escape, get out, and through school, later on through jobs, but my dad was still following me about when I had a job. He used to pick me up, he used to follow me out of my workplace after I'd finished work. And it's just this never ending. So I am at home now, I'm trying to relax. I've been watching the news, absolutely terrible about that sword attack in London this morning, and a 14-year-old boy has actually died. It was absolutely upset me, as it would anybody else. And I told you, they first, you've got the sword attack, and then Charles and Camilla visiting Macmillan Cancer. The parents of that child that has been murdered by that guy must be absolutely devastated. And no one can console parents that have lost a child. It's absolutely awful. It's the state of this country. It's dangerous. I feel sorry for the bereaved parents. It's absolutely awful. I don't know what to say. So I mean, it must be absolutely devastating. What can you do? You just can't say anything, you can't do anything. But surely this chap must have had some sort of mental illness or something to just snap and start running around with a sword. I've just seen the footage because I didn't see it this morning. It's absolutely unbelievable what is going on. It's like something out of a movie. Lock your doors, he was shouting. He had this massive sword. Oh. So, like I said, I'm just staying inside my flat. I've got to take Max out for a walk a bit later on. And I'm not cross. I'm upset that things like that happen in this country. But what can you do? Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
On this in a second with Natasha. ID cards is something that is being talked about again in Parliament, having a system of ID cards. How much would that help this problem?
Well, I think it would help the problem. And I think, remember ID cards were brought in by the last Labour government. And then, the whole thing, the database was abolished in 2010. I think if that had been rolled out, we would have had at least a fighting chance to know where people are, more than is the case at the moment. So I personally think that that sort of system, which exists in most countries of the world, by far most countries in the world, would be useful here in dealing with this problem.
Really, really interesting, John Fine. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to me about it.
It's a pleasure.
Now then, as I was suggesting, Labour also has an illegal migration problem. If it becomes the government later this year, then immediately the boat crossings aren't about Tory chaos, but something for Keir Starmer to resolve. At the moment, the Labour policy is to get a new returns agreement with the EU. Broadly speaking, Britain would allow a safe route for would-be asylum seekers from France to Britain. Successful applicants would be put on ferries and taken across legally. And in return, the French would accept that illegal migrants would go back there. But this would be a big deal and presumably a lengthy one to negotiate and put into law. And Labour also says that it would immediately ditch the Rwanda policy. Therefore, there would be quite a period of time when there was, in effect, no policy on the boats issue at all. Now, some people near the Labour leadership would like to keep the Rwanda policy despite everything they've said about it being hugely expensive and cruel and breaking international law and so on, at least until a new deal with the French is agreed. Over the next few weeks and months, we're going to hear more from Keir Starmer and the Shadow Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, about what they would do to plug this gap. I'm told it will involve instead many more enforcement officers, more bilateral deals with countries like Vietnam to send migrants straight back, and possibly in a pan-European scheme to process asylum seekers outside Europe, perhaps in Turkey or North Africa. Anyway, there are really hard choices ahead for Labour, as well as the Conservatives, and I'm joined now to discuss that by LBC's political editor, Natasha Clark. Natasha, there are the first signs this week, despite that large number of people coming across the channel in the better weather, that the deterrent effect that Rishi Sunak was hoping for might actually be working.
Yes, and that's essentially what Rishi Sunak told the Irish earlier this week when they were talking about the numbers of illegal migrants, they say, making their way across the Irish border from Northern Ireland into the Republic. But the question that is on Labour's lips at the moment is what happens if this policy actually works, because they could be in government in a few months' time, as you said, Andrew, and they're obviously Yvette Cooper has really basically upped the stakes on this. She said she'll scrap it. She wants to use that money to spend further upstream on deterrence. She wants to spend it on trying to, as they say, smash the crime gangs. But if it works, if it is proven that Rwanda is a deterrent and we can get those flights off, what will Labour do if they can't politically scrap it? That is the question that is going on within the Labour Party right now. And I know you've been having some conversations with people as well.
I certainly have. It is the absolutely crucial question. And to be clear, in the end, I would be very, very surprised if Labour kept the Rwanda scheme, because they have said so many very, very strong things about it. It would be so many words to eat, so much humble pie to devour with grovel sauce on the side. It would be too much, I think. And there'd be a massive revolt inside the party, I think, if they tried to do that. However, I do think they're going to come up with some quite tough-edged policies about offshore processing and, you know, these bilateral agreements to send people straight back to certain countries. They have to come up with more than they've come up with so far I would have thought, over the course of the summer.
Yes, and I think that's one of the questions that everybody, voters are going to be asking. How is your policy going to differ from the Conservatives' offering? They want to make it a very clear dividing line between the Conservatives and Labour. The Conservatives say we'll push Rwanda. They want to make their claim saying Labour will stop the planes, we will stop the boats. That's what they want to see as part of an election. But like you say, it could take a very long time for Labour to strike a returns deal with the EU, if indeed it even happens at all. So they will have a time where they may have to sit on the Rwanda policy until they've got something else to replace it with. And we know that if people want to spend that money, that £350 million, that £400 million that's already been sent to Rwanda, they want to be asking for some of that money back. It's going to be a real headache for some in the Labour Party, and I'm told that they are having active discussions about what kind of things go in their party manifesto at the moment. There are some that are trying to toughen it up with sort of a slightly more a harder line on immigration to try and give that voice for the electorate, to give them a little bit of something. There are people asking questions. Look, the Conservatives keep asking you, what on earth is your policy? It's they've got to have these answers ready and waiting for the election. At the moment, they don't have them.
These are very, very hard questions, but Labour can't avoid them. And the more the polls, tilt towards a possible Labour government, the more people are going to ask questions about this kind of policy. For now, Natasha, thank you very much indeed. Coming up, we're going to get an update on that terrible sword attack in North London, and I'm also going to speak to the Palestinian ambassador in London and ask him if he's any longer got any hopes of a ceasefire deal in Gaza. But first, the time is 6:32, and your news headlines are with Amelia Cox.
A man detained over a sword attack in northeast London is being treated in hospital. The 36-year-old has been arrested on suspicion of murder after a 14-year-old boy was killed in Hainault this morning. A former Environment Secretary has told LBC it's an absolute nonsense to suggest businesses will see costs go up as a result of new post-Brexit checks. Speaking on Tonight with Andrew Marr, George Eustice has dismissed their concerns about the impact they'll have. And 2 men have been charged after the famous Sycamore Gap tree was cut down in Northumberland last year. The men in their 30s will appear in court charged with criminal damage next month. LBC weather, rain easing in the west tonight, showers along eastern coasts, a low of 4 degrees.
Call the Commissioner. Put your questions to the Met Police Chief, Sir Mark Rowley, tomorrow morning with Nick Ferrari at breakfast from 7, only on LBC.
The Co-op member price big event is now on. Make extra savings on breakfast. Cut the cost of your cupboard fillers. Clean up on spring cleaning essentials. And enjoy tasty offers on treats. Find even more member prices in store. Selected products subject to availability, prices may vary. Co-op Group food stores only, excludes independent cooperative stores, limited time only.
Hi all.
How are we doing?
Afternoon.
Right, guys.